Hey everyone, welcome back to another video from Professional Picks. In this one, we're talking about the second round of the NFL playoffs, the divisional round. I'll be making a video like this for each step of the way in the playoffs. So subscribe if you want to keep getting this content along with our other football content. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you enjoy it, and let me know in the comment section what you think about my picks and who you're taking this week in the NFL playoff games. Here's an updated look at the playoff picture. In the wildcard round, the favorite, the home team, won in just about every game, with the one exception being the Niners, knocking off the Cowboys. With that upset win, the Niners are the lowest remaining seed in the NFC, so they're going to go to Green Bay and take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers this week. But we'll get to that game later. The first one we'll talk about here is the Bengals taking on the number one seed Tennessee Titans. They're looking to get Derrick Henry back from injury, as he's been out for a long time this year. I think this is a game where a lot of people are believing in the hype of the Bengals, and they're a good team. They're a really solid offense that can score at a pretty high rate. However, this Bengals team is really young and inexperienced, and I think that's going to have a big impact in this game. This is a Titans team that's been in the playoffs the past couple of seasons, very well coached, as you see in the team strengths, their game plan. This is a team that has faced a lot of injuries and they don't have as much talent as a lot of other teams in the AFC or the entire NFL. But because of such good coaching and such good game planning, these guys have taken the one seed in the AFC, and they've won a lot of games with a lot less than other teams are working with. And so these guys have an extra week after their first round bye to prepare for the Bengals. Great coaching staff, guys getting healthy, especially Derrick Henry coming back. I like the Titans here as an experienced football team, very disciplined football team to beat a young Bengals team with a lot of inexperienced players. I think that's going to be a big difference. For the Bengals, if they want a chance to win this game, huge X factor is going to be their run defense, especially if Derrick Henry's in the game. But regardless of that, the identity of this Titans offense is predicated on the run game. And no matter who's starting at running back, whether Derrick Henry's healthy or not and how much he plays, they're going to be running the ball as much as they can as long as it's efficient. And so that Bengals run defense is really going to be key to them to stopping the Titans offense and getting the ball back in the hands of Joe Burrow for the Bengals. If Derrick Henry's playing this game and he's playing like he's playing close to 100%, I have a hard time seeing the Titans losing this game just because of the fact that I think they're going to play flawless football more often than not, committing very few turnovers. And again, their coaching with Mike Vrabel is just so impeccable that I think you give these guys 2 weeks, he's going to pick apart this Bengals team to the extent they can. Now, again, Bengals have a really good offense, but I think the Titans, just with their toughness, their experience, and their great coaching, are going to take this game, and they're going to cover that 3-point spread as well. Next game we're talking about is one that I'm going to be really excited to watch, with the Niners taking on the Packers here. It seems in recent memory, the Niners give the Packers a lot of struggles, especially in the playoffs, but they always play them close and play them tough. And I think it's just the way the 49ers play football is very conducive of competing in close games, and that's why I like them 4.5. But at the end of the day, this Packers team's looking really good. Again, first round bye to prepare for this team. They've already played them once this season, so they got game plan on them in film. I think those 2 weeks are well spent in scheming on, trying to fix up the issues they had against the Niners in the first game, and then taking advantage of things that went well for them in that first matchup. So the Packers, I think, are going to win this game too. The team strengths with the Niners, again, very physical in the run game on both sides of the football. They have a great O-line and a great defensive front seven. Some things to keep in mind here, some injuries that were sustained last Sunday. Nick Bosa, concussion protocols, they're saying he's probably going to play. And then Fred Warner, the all-pro linebacker, also with an ankle sprain, he's going to play too. But it'll be interesting to see how those guys are affected. Jimmy G, the X factor for the Niners here too, shoulder injury as well for him. So these guys got pretty banged up in their win against the Cowboys. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys can play at 100%. Even if Jimmy G is fine and his shoulder's not going to be an issue, he's still the X factor in this game. You saw when he played in the Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, he has a tough time rising to the occasion. He's a great game manager, but when the game's on the line and the ball's in his hands, do we trust Jimmy Garoppolo to get the 49ers a win? I personally do not, and I think that's going to be what decides this game and ultimately be the reason why the Packers win this game. For the team strength, obviously, they had probably the MVP this year, Aaron Rodgers. Don't need to talk about him that much, but he's going to pick your defense apart no matter how good it is. The X factor here is stopping the run. The Niners are going to run the ball as much as they can in this game. It's what their offense is built off of, and everything else falls into place after that. They have such good schemes that they run the ball with a variety of different running backs, and Deebo Samuel, wide receiver, always having a guy in motion. You never know where the ball's actually going to go. So they have a great run scheme, and that's something the Packers have struggled with in the past against the Niners for years and years and years. And so I think that's going to be something that's not going to change this game. And the big thing for the Packers is they have an improved defense this year. We're going to be put to the test in the week one for them in the playoffs against this really good 49ers run offense. But at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to lead a 2-minute drill here and take the win. I don't see him getting bounced this early in the playoffs this season. Really good game. Another rematch of a previous game of the season with the Rams going to Tampa Bay. Earlier this season when they played, the Rams really beat up on the Bucs. But it's definitely going to be different this time around as Tom Brady's in the playoffs. As we all know, he doesn't mess around come playoff time. Some things that we're going to have to keep an eye on for team strengths. Again, I said it for the Rams game against the Cardinals, their D-line, getting in the backfield, disrupting the timing of the quarterback, getting him off your spot. Certainly Tom Brady's a lot less mobile than Kyler Murray is back there. So pressure their D-line is going to be huge. The Eagles, who don't even have as good as a pass rush as the Rams, who got in Tom Brady's face often there in that game in Tampa Bay last weekend. I think this Rams D-line can do the same, and that'll be a huge factor there. Biggest thing for the Rams still, Matthew Stafford. He looked really good against the Cardinals. It's easy to look good when your teams win by 20-plus points. The thing about Matt Stafford is he looks really good some days, and he looks really bad the other days. What he's going to have to prove to me this season is that he can string together 4 wins in a row without making mistakes against, a really good defensive unit for the Buccaneers. So he's got to continue to play mistake-free football, and that'll be something that's huge for the Rams as they advance in the playoffs, and especially as they play teams with better and better defenses like the Buccaneers. Team strengths for the Bucs, if you watch them all season, that Brady spreads the ball around a lot. He's got a lot of guys to throw to, notably Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, Chris Godwin, a variety of talent there. Big news for their offensive line, which is their X factor. Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen, 2 of their best players on that O-line, especially Tristan Wirfs, who's an All-Pro. They're hurt. Their status for the game time is questionable. And again, this Rams D-line is their strength. Without their 2 best offensive linemen, it's going to make Tom Brady's life a lot harder back there with all these Rams D-linemen breathing down his neck. So that's something to take a look upon. I think it's going to be a close game, certainly much closer than you saw these two teams play earlier in the season. I'm taking the Rams +3 here just because I could see them winning this game. I think this is a good coin flip game, taking the underdog plus the points. But at the end of the day, same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Give me Tom Brady in the playoffs. Give me an experienced team that has been here before. Just one season ago, all 22 starters brought back. Their defense, especially their front 7 units, going to make running the ball for the Rams hard. I think the Bucs are going to generate a lot of pressure from their D-line and their blitzes and make Matt Stafford pressured, make him make a mistake. And that's going to be the reason why Tom Brady and the Buccaneers ultimately win this game. In the last game we're going to talk about here are the Bills and the Chiefs, a rematch of last year's playoff matchup 2. Again, these 2 teams played in the regular season as well, with the Bills winning this one in a comeback win here. Actually, no, that was the Ravens and Chiefs. I'm not sure about these 2 teams. But regardless, I think the Bills are going to win this matchup. I like them as the underdog +2.5. I like them to win this game straight up as the underdog on the road against Kansas City. Very hostile environment, but it all comes down to their strength, which is their pass defense, but their defense in general is just impeccable. The number 1 defensive unit in the NFL this season. And the flip side of the coin, the Chiefs, whose defense has gotten better and better as the season's gone along, but I'm still not convinced of their competency back there, especially their run defense. And that's why I really think the X factor for the Bills is their run offense. If you watch the Bills play this year, they don't generate a lot of run game with their in the sense that most teams do in the NFL. They're not handing the ball off to their running back, Devin Singletary, or Zach Moss 20 times a game. A lot of their offense, rushing at least, comes from Josh Allen with his legs. So it'd be interesting to see how they approach this, as, again, the Chiefs' run defense isn't all that to be desired. So I'm going to see how the Bills scheme up run plays with either Josh Allen, which they do a lot of QB powers with him and design runs, or just with their running backs in the pure sense of a rush offense that we think about. Again, team strengths for the Chiefs, no surprise here. Their offensive weapons too. When you got guys like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, you can't double both those guys. One of them, if they're getting one-on-one coverage, either one of them is going to win that matchup more times than not. And when you got Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to them, it's really easy for that Chiefs offense to hum. Again, the difference in this game, though, is defense. I cannot get behind the Chiefs defense this year. And the Bills' incredible defense and their pass defense especially is going to be enough to slow down the Chiefs offense enough where the Bills, I don't think the Chiefs defense is going to get them to force many punts And the Bills, you saw the Bills score 7 straight touchdowns. They got 7 possessions against the Patriots, who have a top 5 defense. They scored a touchdown 7 times. I think their offense is clicking right now, and they're really found their groove. I don't expect the Chiefs defense to put nearly as good a fight as the Patriots did. And I think the Bills here, again, with their defense, slow down the Chiefs enough to put up more points than the Chiefs and ultimately beat them. I wouldn't be surprised if this game is not all that close. I really think the Bills are just a much more talented football team than the Chiefs here. As a recap here, I'm taking 3 home teams, the favorites: Titans, Packers, Buccaneers. A lot of this has to do with just the poise and experience of the teams. The Titans in general as a whole, as compared to the Bengals, and then Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady at quarterback for the Buccaneers. They just have so much poise and confidence when their team's down. They've been in this situation so many times before. I'll take those guys in a close game any day over any other quarterback. And the Bills Chiefs game, just talked about that one. It comes down to defense. The Bills defense is incredible. Chiefs defense, not all that great. I'm really liking what the Bills have been doing on offense this year. They're using Josh Allen in the run game a lot more than I thought they were going to, is because he's going to get paid a lot of money. You kind of want to protect your franchise quarterback, but they've shown that they know that their run game kind of lives and dies with Josh Allen in some sense, and they're willing to take that risk, and it's paying off, and that offense is really clicking right now. So I think the Bills win that game and sets up a great NFC and AFC conference championships the next week. Just one reminder, we got our partner Prize Picks. If you sign up with our code ProPicks, they'll match your deposit up to $100. But that will conclude our video for the division round of the playoffs. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comment section about my picks. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of controversy around me picking the Bills to beat the Chiefs, but I stand by that. And I really do think you're going to see the Bills show out when they play the Chiefs that Sunday. And you're going to see why the Bills, and especially their defense, are looking like Super Bowl contenders this year. But best of luck watching, betting, and enjoying the next round of the divisional playoffs.